Hello,
Hello,
world.
hello.
All right. It is time again. It is I am Crownson, aka Ryan, part of the Healing Chefs, the podcast. The other co host now, ladies and gentlemen, is IG's at Hollywood Betty. I guess in real life, Hollywood.
Hollywood all the way.
Hollywood. All right. Thank you for joining us. This is going to be dope. We are going a little bit new direction. Nothing negative towards the old co-host. Got a lot of things going on. Tap in with him. Very good guy. So this is the Healing Chefs podcast. Healing Chef, chef coming from the word chief meaning leader. And everybody that I have on here, I have as I believe is a leader in their own way. And today's chef is IG's at Man with the Fat 420, aka Christopher Hunt.
Yes. Appreciate y'all having me.
Thank you very much for coming, and I didn't ruin your name. I'm pretty good at that. My brain and the anxiety sometimes just like comes together there. Real quick though, before we jump into any of the segments, we do have a mystery box here that we'll go over at the end. Stick with us. But could you explain to our watchers, listeners? I don't know. I think that's about all the senses we got so far. We haven't gotten smelled down yet. But if we could, it smells like weed. Yeah. So could you explain to what it is that you do? And I mean, all the things that you do. Absolutely. And shout out to the Chiefers with all the swag on there. Real quick, shout out.
Appreciate you. Yeah, shout out Chiefers. I'm a big supporter of those guys. I love them. You know, Charlie comes through my shop a lot.
Oh yeah, shout out
Chiefer Charlie. But and my name's Chris Hunt. Go by Man with the Fat on Instagram. I've been in the cannabis industry for 10, 11 years on the retail side.
Oh yeah.
That's where I made a lot of my connections. And
make sure the
this mic
mic's a little closer.
Yeah, appreciate you. So I speak low as it is.
Oh.
So that's a little bit better. Appreciate you.
Laying it down.
There you go. But yeah, my name's Chris Hunt. I've been in the retail side of medical marijuana industry for the past 10 years now, recreational too, you know. But
yeah.
I've been in the industry since about 2012, 2013 when it made that big transition from collectives into, big corporations. So
right.
Those fun times. And I've been in that game for 10 years. I'm still doing it. Supervisor, floor lead, shift lead over at Soulflower Casas Adobes down in Tucson.
Nice. And shout out.
Appreciate you guys. Shout out to the Soulflower team.
Shout out T-Town.
But other than that, I just got in the Instagram game like 2 years ago, really.
Yeah.
3 years ago. And it all started with my boy Lucas, who is an account manager for Sublime. We work together at D2 as well down in Tucson.
Oh, okay.
Sister company of Downtown Dispensary, you know.
Yeah.
So we're best friends. And a couple of years ago, he asked me if I wanted to be part of the Bud Tenders Club. They came up to Phoenix a couple of years ago, and that was being powered through Vapin.
Okay.
So Sophia from Vapin back then hit me up and asked if I want to be part of that. And I was like, I would love to speak on the Bud Tenders Club and talk to the community and speak to other bud tenders on 5 big points that they were advocating for were the difference between like good consultants and great consultants.
Wow. Hey, heck yeah.
And that was the first thing I'm going to touch base on right there.
Yeah.
I'm not a bud tender. I'm a patient care consultant.
Yeah.
You know, so that was the first thing I like to break down. And then it was like how to get tips and then how to take care of the patient, how to gain more information about medical marijuana. So I went to Phoenix. I came up here and spoke on that behalf. And there was even like Jill up there from like Hana, you know, GM. She was up there speaking to the community and it was pretty fun stuff. So that was my first like social event where I got to speak on like my knowledge of like 8 years of cannabis on the retail side.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Hell yeah, man. Like as bud tender, patient consultant, stuff like that, it's nice that they actually have people that are help, iron sharpens iron, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not just a customer service job. There's so many out there that take it very, very seriously. And
the effects and what they medicate for and treating them like a patient is
I was there. I'm there when I go and pick up stuff here and there and stuff like that, and I appreciate those people that take it seriously. So it's glad that it's glad Brian talking take two. It's awesome that you got recognition. It's hard. It's very hard, especially in the Arizona community, because I don't know any other community that to get any sort of recognition, especially as a bud tender or something like that. But more and more, I'm seeing people get put on sites and stuff. So people forward always. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into our first segment, which is man, I smoke weed. I'm tired. I forget everything that I've ever done. It's cannabis journey. My brain. All right, so Cannabis Journey is all about how you found cannabis yourself, your personal journey with it, and where you're at with it now. Like, concentrates and all sorts of stuff. And some people go from just recreational, so on and so forth, to measuring out dosages and whatnot. Not saying that there's no right or wrong in any situation. Right. There's always a gray area. But with that being said, I mean, how did you find cannabis yourself?
I'm gonna pinpoint it to me having an older brother, 10 years older than me.
Okay.
So in my early 30s, I have a brother that is 10 years older. So he was a teenager growing up in the mid 90s, and we grew up in San Diego and El Cajon.
Okay.
And just a big Tupac fan. He was gang banging. He was doing stuff, I was out traveling with him and his buddies at 8, 9 years old. So I smelt it. I knew they were smoking, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's an intoxicating lifestyle.
Yeah.
For sure.
I had some friends growing up in high school, and I mean, I saw it from afar. So yeah, no, intoxicating.
It's definitely like a gateway to other things as far as just socially, and opening your eyes, not necessarily to other drugs, or harder drugs.
Right. Because, just being uninhibited, just like,
You start seeing that, then you start noticing the alcohol, you start noticing other things, you start noticing adult talk. But 8, 9 years old, I smelled my brother smoking it. I'm like, what's that? I could tell they start getting inebriated, Starts getting into like 10, 11. My cousin moves out with us in Missouri, Columbia, Missouri.
Hey, I'm from Missouri.
That's what's up, show me state.
So show me 7, I'll show you 8.
Thank you, man. And I lived out there in 1999, 2000, 2001 at the height of Nelly and the St. Lunatic. So it was madness, It was fun times.
Man, bro, just hitting those albums, and as much as he's singing and stuff, like it hits. So it's nostalgia for me. Like, just I could smell the leaves and stuff in St. Louis, and it's crazy.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like at that time, I'm a young teenager. Then my cousin moves out there, and I could smell them hitting bongs in the attic. Then they're doing gravity bongs, Then I could still, there's a different kind of smell coming. Then the quality gets
2 liters or what?
5 gallons.
Oh, 5 gallons.
Oh, wow.
They were living in the attic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like 16, 17-year-olds. And they were just,
crazy.
I would always be up there chilling with the black light and the strobe lights and smelling it. So it was intoxicating kind of lifestyle,
The whole look.
And then we move out to Florida, 12, 13. Oh, man, I start selling it. I start getting Black and Milds. I start selling those, I start selling CDs and burnt copies. So it's just an intoxicating lifestyle that way. Not always to a harder lifestyle of drugs, but open mind up to drug deals and hustles. Yeah. And, more leisure, recreational activities that way. So definitely got into it recreationally, started hustling and grinding.
Facilitate the things that I want to do without having to do the dumbass shit.
I had a fanny pack back then, dude. I had Black and Milds. I had joints. I had burnt CDs,
Shit.
Yeah.
In school, selling candy and shit like that. I mean, there's a hustle at every
what
level.
You need, what you want.
Yeah.
And people started doing Pokemon. I'm like, all right, I'm doing the same thing, man. Different item.
For sure. That's what we were talking about out there. Just different commodities and whatnot. Just got to find a way to sell the sizzle.
Yep. How can you monetize stuff?
Right. So then, so you got to hang out with them doing that. You started selling whatnot. When did you make it to Arizona?
About 16.
Did I skip a bunch?
No, you're spot on. About 16, came back out here because I was born here, but I moved away at 3 weeks old, so I never experienced it.
Man, you
I
had
just
a
came to
job at
visit.
3 weeks old. Had to go, dog. You had to go.
Off he goes.
I just
Busy
moved
man.
out.
This man's
Straight
been
out.
hustling since he was 3
Out the
years old.
womb.
Yeah.
I never got to experience this as like a youth, so I just come out and visit family, visit my cousins. But
Yeah.
it wasn't until I visit my cousins when they're 14, 15, they're in the wrestling team, they're in the football team, they know all the basketball players. Okay, we're going
Where'd
on
they go?
party.
What school?
Palo Verde down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was Deer Valley Middle School, Goldwater High School. Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's like mad generations going back to my grandpa going to that same school. I went there.
For
My
sure.
kids would go there. Yada yada.
That's what's up.
Rite of passage.
Yeah, but seeing my cousins going to the parties and they started smoking, then I started smoking. It's like, this is cool. We can play Halo and just chill. We don't have to get drunk. It was really fun.
Yeah, I always had the friends that like I wanted to smoke and play video games, but I had friends that like wanted to drink and play video games. I'm like, bro, how the what? Like one immediately I'm tired. I mean, I guess it's what for everybody has their thing, right?
Sure.
But
that's, each their own. But I would get dizzy.
I get tired and then I can't see stuff. And I'll just be like disinterested.
Yeah, I'm nappy.
Or just all into the alcohol, but.
Right.
Sorry. I going back. But so you figured out you could smoke and play Halo and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that was like real recreational, man, and that's when I like gave up baseball and everything. As soon as I hit high school, I was like, I'd rather sit at home and get high and stuff. But I was like one of those kids, lost your, inhibitions in kind of way. But also, I've also done martial arts and jiu-jitsu my whole life. So there was nothing like sitting on the mat with my cousins who wrestled and me do jiu-jitsu and us collaborate and have a bong or a joint on the mat. So I just started like transitioning that a little bit.
Nice.
Fast forward to nowadays, people do that shit all the time. Look at MMA and everything.
Yeah.
And like what Sugar Sean with the weed and that. I mean,
there was a consumption event.
Isn't it crazy? Yeah, isn't it crazy how like some of the stuff in your youth you come to like you're like, oh, you son of a. Like you didn't even know that you learned a skill or something like that in the end, and they're like, "Oh, this all ties in. This is crazy,
dude. It's madness."
So smoking and beating the shit out of each other.
Exactly right.
It's something to keep you motivated at that time.
That's what homies do.
Exactly.
You got to get better at it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to get punched in the mouth because you get a little loud, but it happens. Exactly. But, yeah, dope. Then you grew up and you started dabbing immediately. No, I'm just kidding.
I didn't even know where dabs were.
We had 12 years old now.
I didn't even know where dabs were till like 8 years ago.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's like crazy, No, I got I went to college. I did the whole thing when I was like 23, 24, and then I realized I didn't want to go to what I was going for, like computer technology, and I cared way more about people. I started doing like just speech classes and how to talk to people, how to conduct yourself, etiquette, anthropologies, and learning just general liberal studies, stuff like that. And I started going to school with that. My dad always told me you could be a student forever, whether that's with grants, loans, the way your mind works, philosophy, like you could just be a student forever.
You should be a student forever.
And that's what I'm thinking about going back again, just to keep more motivation on me.
That also you'll like there's things that we learn that don't have anything to do with what we're doing, but then at some point in time you need to do that, and what it just comes up and you're like, I don't know why I learned that, but I'm glad I did now. But so I just let the universe kind of tell me things and guide me. So that sounds
like that's a calling for you too.
Sounds like it. Yeah. I'm always trying to learn. I mean, I can probably use the VA for certain things to get schooling, but I've tried and it's hard. But trying to learn regardless of what you're doing into like any subject that I find, I nerd out on it for sure.
Yeah, because the idea of learning stops. It's your choice when you're done learning and when you're done growing, and hopefully that's always a theme in everyone's life is just to get more information and stuff, because I think that's what breaks like cannabis stigma and kind of how you were talking about through the decades of just growth in yourself. Just the transition of everything and learning and growing with it and learning the industry and then wanting to work with people and just how it just contributed to your own personal evolution is just a growth mindset. And I think that's what we get from learning and going
Absolutely.
to,
spot on,
seeking more.
And then for people like myself who gaming and stuff, like to break it down is just leveling up. You hit a level, you don't stop, you just keep going. Find the next one.
Exactly right.
All right. Absolutely. So you found your next level, and then what was the next level after that?
I started my mom has always been like a caregiver as well. She's always been like apartment manager, and my dad was sales manager for Panasonic in the 90s and 2000s. He sold electronics to the bases, you know, to the military.
Okay.
So he ran the whole Midwest and East Coast. So I was always traveling. So like retail was in my blood growing up, teenage wise. I always saw that. And then my mom ran property management as a manager. So I saw the way she conducted business and people. And then my mom was a hospice caregiver. So that became a job for me working at college and then working overnights. That gave me that liberty. So I started becoming a hospice caregiver. So I was a med tech and hospice caregiver now. Yeah. So now I understand the medical aspect too. Yeah. You know, now I'm starting to understand the drugs. I'm starting to understand the medication. So I understand people. You know, starting to mend everything synergistically. It all starts working out. Mm-hmm. So I'm a caregiver and I'm over what a computer technology I'm going to college for. And I'm living with my roommates now. I've moved out of the house. I'm living with my roommates. And my best friend has his best friend come over. And he's like, hey, I heard you're a hospice caregiver and you're in medical and stuff. You're a farm tech and all this stuff. He's like, would you want to bring that knowledge and hospitality to my industry? Wow. And I was like, what's that? Yeah. And I'm 24 years old. Mm-hmm. He's like, medical marijuana. I was like, that's here in Arizona? That's crazy.
What?
I'm still buying eights right now off the street and from homies and stuff like that. I'm 24. This is like California. It's like Colorado. This is madness, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. And he hooks it up. That's my boy, Jesse. He was the GM of Bloom. He was the GM of Bloom dispensaries before Cure Leaf. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's the GM down there in Tucson. He brings me up, and just long story short, he sends me over to Prime Leaf. He brings me back, you know, because it was all one entity, you know?
Yeah.
Prime Leaf, and where it was Rainbow Collective. It was Rainbow Collective. And if you look at like OGs and stuff like that, they'll still be licensed under Rainbow Collective. VARs still might be in it. You know what I mean? Like what we were smoking this morning was some white truffle from VARs, you know?
VARs,
So that might still be licensed under, but even the edibles OGs is licensed under Rainbow Collective. And that's where I started.
Wow.
And then Bloom came down from Phoenix, bought them out.
Wow.
You know, so that was that long story short of coming like mom and pop to corporate. And I saw the whole thing of like me being now medical and retail. And then I saw how like corporations can take over something so unique and so intimate. So it's like, this is a learning experience and a half. I love medical marijuana.
It's finding its way, you know, paving the path.
I watched Territory turn into Zen Leaf and stuff. So yeah, I've seen some of that stuff.
The transition.
It's a beautiful thing, you know?
Right? Growth.
All right. And then we just need to we'll fast forward a little bit to where we're at now. Obviously nowadays we have all the flower and we have rosin and stuff like that. I know when I was snapping slabs and stuff like that. Excuse me. Shoot, oh my gosh, I'm getting old. Almost like 10 years ago. But I remember that, but now we're into the rosin and stuff like that. Have you gone to like for myself as a veteran with PTSD, I use it definitely as much as possible for preventative, not just for recreation and whatnot, and I still recreate a lot. don't get me wrong, but yeah, for sure. And did you see that as you were growing in your cannabis journey, how your cannabis use changed, and how did it change for you?
I think the biggest thing it changed when I was like a teenager and we were training in my backyard. My dad is a jiu-jitsu coach, one of the best in the country. And he's always trained me since I was little. And I got busted in the park when I was like 15, 16 years old. Midnight, past curfew, you know? So the cops hit it. They come and get us. So my dad has to come walk to the park and get me.
Oh, no.
And I was just like, God damn, can y'all like go get him? Like pick him up or something. This man's 55. He's got broken hips. He's got back surgeries and a heart pacemaker and everything. I'm like, well, we call him Terminator for a reason because he kicks our ass every day. And they're like, sir, he has to walk. I'm like, y'all done pissed off my dad. This is not going to be good.
I got scared as soon as you said all that.
Yeah, dude. And he is a 6'2", 220-pound blonde, white cowboy, you know, Wyoming oil drill, correctional officer, 1973 running back, high school champ, the whole bit.
Wow.
Scary shit.
Quite a man.
And I see that dude walk across the park at midnight with the fog. And I'm high as hell at 16. You just see fog coming across the park.
Someone play the Undertaker's music.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm just like, shit. And then he comes up, they release us to him, and we're walking down the street to my house. And he turns around and he says, Bruce Lee smoked weed. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Do I keep training? He's like, just don't get caught. Next time you get caught, I'm not training you no more. I was like, oh, makes sense. I'm 15, 16. Right. And that's when it really started hitting. I just can't be like lounging around. But here I am driving around with a bong.
Right.
Up and, I still do. I still got mad ounces, still joints on me. Right. So I haven't learned in that aspect. But I started learning, like, treat it the right way at that point. So I wasn't doing it at work at hospice caregiving. Most people, I serve people all day. I'm a consultant. Right. I serve hundreds of people a day, thousands of people a week. And I plenty of nurses, plenty of medical people that want to smoke and vape.
Right.
I could never do that when I was doing it. But, but any other job, car sales, call center, medical marijuana, every hour, baby, on the hour. Let's go. I could smoke, but I couldn't do it then.
Yeah,
that's what really was like tuning it in. I can't be helping people who are 95 on the last step. Be high as hell, especially on flour with a dirty high, especially at 90% distillate on some hot dog water. I can't do it. I don't know how people do it. I can't. Like, that's where I was finding my heart, my soul, and now I have pain. I have an arthritic hip. I have stenosis in my back. My back's wearing away. I got to suck it up for those 8-12-hour days, as a caregiver.
And shout out to you for doing it. It's not an easy job, especially when you have some ailments and whatnot. But it's good that you have people like you there, so you can relate to people and actually help them, because it's not just for some people. I've run into as a customer patient, and they're just like, I've been a bud tender when people come and ask me for just the highest THC. I've been on the other end when I come in and like, man, I got this shit's the strongest. I'm like, that dude, that's not what I'm here for at all. Mm-hmm. Like, there's people that come in for that and good for them, but like, I'm not here to take a shot of Everclear. Try it.
Right.
If you do try to take a shot of Everclear, please record it and send it to me.
And don't do it in front of any flammable objects.
It's gonna be hilarious.
Met me
breathing
at 14.
fire.
Yeah. Should have met me at 14. I was wearing Keg security shirt every weekend. Everyone in high school and the football team knew where the keg was. Right by this guy. I was doing doubles of Everclear and just smacking 40 ounce. I put doubles in like a 44 ounce of beer and smack it. Like, I was wild.
Well, yeah, but I've just seen people take shots of Everclear. As soon as it hits their mouth, it burns so bad that it just immediately comes
breathing
right
fire.
Out.
That's bad.
So I stopped drinking last year because I started sipping moonshine. Like, there's something wrong with me.
I don't know.
Journey over here too.
I've had my fair share when my buddies made at least the apple pie, and I'm just like, this is great. This is great. Drinking it in the parking lot. Yeah. And then the next day's horrible. So I don't drink anymore. To each their own. Right. All right, so let's just jump into next segment. We're gonna have to make up some time here and there, but I love it. We'll go ahead and jump into Trip Tales real quick. All right, so Trip Tales is all about psychedelic experiences, funny stories, lessons, questions. I do a lot of psychedelics. Allegedly, this is all satire. Fuck them.
Took so many tabs this morning, ain't even funny.
Oh yeah, dog.
He's just levitating over here. Y'all can't see it, but he's not really
doing
sitting
a tab.
down.
I did a book. Yeah, right, bro. There ain't no way I would be able to make it off the. I don't know. I think that's how you time travel.
Allegedly.
So, do you have any experiences that were funny? And even like I've said to people, Ryan talking take 3. High dosage edibles also ride the same rails as psychedelics. They've put me in the corner a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna wear off.
I'll say,
again.
I talk a lot, so I'm a patient care consultant, so I talk to my patients a lot, so I talk to people a lot. So sorry,
no sorries. This is what this is for, is talking.
Absolutely.
We want to hear it all.
I don't like edibles. 5 milligrams makes me hungry as hell, and I'll eat a whole pizza. Is what I tell people. It doesn't matter how big I am, how long I've been smoking. Edibles are not my thing. I'll take it for night. Absolutely. Give me some CBN gummies, whatever.
Sure.
But at the edible trip factor, mushrooms and acid, I never really tripped on acid. I've never taken more than like 200. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to see demons and trying to see God and stuff like that.
I'm gonna go see him Tuesday. Do you have any questions? I'm gonna be right there now.
The homies.
One of the first times I did take mushrooms was one of the best times of my life. That was hilarious. It's a great story because we go out to Green Valley out from Tucson. So we drive out an hour. And it's funny because we get in this dude's car and he picks us up in a Mini Cooper and he's my size. And then he picks up my two cousins who are my size. So we got like $12.50 in a Mini Cooper.
Okay.
And we ain't going nowhere, man. We're just slug bugging it. And he's talking about like, let me hit the turbo in the Mini Cooper. And he's like, we're not going nowhere, dude.
He shifts it into second.
So we're going out there and it's hilarious already. We go out there, we pop some shrooms, and then they start watching Harry and the Hendersons. I'm like, this is a great setting. I love this right now.
That's dope, actually.
It's in Green Valley in $1 million home. Parents aren't home. Just a bunch of kids, on college age and stuff, just chilling in this house.
No responsibilities.
No house quarter mile from us.
Oh my God.
And then the coyotes and Javelina are like up at the gate and everything. Man, we're out there. And we're in the backyard. We're in the backyard, and these guys got a pool and a jacuzzi. And the jacuzzi runs into the pool. There's a waterfall.
Oh, beautiful.
And I'm like, this is great. I go into the jacuzzi, and they have a mini bar. So I'm sitting like this. There's a mini bar right behind me. There's a jacuzzi. I'm tripping. And then they're like, check this out. And they give me a remote. And the remote can control the temperature and the color. I'm just sitting there just tripping out, changing the color of this jacuzzi running into. I'm just melting into the pool.
Oh, my gosh.
And then I noticed it's been like 2 hours. And I haven't wrinkled. And I'm like, what kind of fucking medical bullshit is this? What kind of magic mushrooms did we take? I'm not pruning right now. I'm
indestructible.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't absorb water.
Yeah. I am fish.
I'm a superhero now, guys. I am the anti-water.
The gills are next.
Well, they have a fire pit, so I must be indestructible to fire then. I go stand over the fire.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I'm just chilling over the fire, dude. I'm like not getting burnt. I'm chilling. I did that at another house. I dove in like a freezing ice cold pool. I was like, we need to go outside, Everyone wants to go inside and watch Harry and the Hendersons. I'm like, let's go on walks. Let's go outside. Let's go swimming. This is fun as fuck.
Yeah.
Outside for me is safer when I'm tripping. Inside is where all the demons and the thoughts are.
I wanted to go inside one time in that $1 million house, and it's because like in the garage was grandpa's like 1965 Mustang, so I smoked a blunt in that shit. Sorry for the vintage muscle heads and shit, but
not at all.
I was tripping as fuck, and I was like, I think that'd be cool to smoke a blunt in this vintage ass classic
Absolutely.
car.
That's funny. I don't know. Every time I'm tripping so hard, like smoking weed, I'm like, I'm doing it, but I don't really know if there's anything really fucking happening.
Right.
But I do it.
Acid definitely got me through the COVID though.
Yeah?
Yeah. I started taking quarter of a tab, half a tab, and a full tab like every other night, every week or whatever, man. Just to in the house.
Escape a little bit.
2 parents work, 2 kids, you know what I mean? On lockdown, I'm just like, I need to escape my mind, dude.
Yeah,
I work with people for 12 hours. At that time, I was working a 15-hour shift, a 14-hour shift, a 12-hour shift. I'm like, I need to escape my mind.
Wow.
So I started taking tabs.
It's definitely where I get at a certain point, and I'm like, okay. I'm starting to get back into that little angry person or whatever situation I'm in. I'm like, it's time to trip again. We're gonna go ahead and fix this real quick.
Yeah, dude. I feel like a little cloud up in here that needs to decompress. Dealing with numbers, dealing with people, dealing with the stresses. It's not like a headband effect or nothing. It's just like right here, and I feel like mushrooms, a little bit of mushrooms, a little bit of tabs, just
boom.
releases that.
Now you got me wanting to take some tonight too, but it'll ruin my Tuesday. So
there just hasn't been the right opportunity for me quite yet, where it's been a calling for me. But
hi, I'm Mr. Opportunity,
knocking at the door.
We'll
see if I answer.
We'll figure that out, maybe allegedly. Remember, anybody watching this, listening to this is all satire.
Not for sale, all satire, all jokes.
Yeah, these is jokes.
It's all fiction.
Comedy.
All right. So yeah, some good trips and everything, and trying to just fix yourself. But anything else you want to add real quick? Because we're going to jump into our break. Then mental health. But anything else for psychedelics?
Psychedelics. I'm definitely a big advocate of them now, as far as like mushrooms, and as it goes in like micro, even macro dosing,
Yeah,
I'm an advocate for them.
Absolutely.
Say that much.
That and ketamine and all that kind of stuff, especially for myself with being a veteran with combat PTSD, really helped me and helps me from time to time. The shrooms for sure, but ketamine really kind of is something to look into for people that have a real reactive kind of a thing.
Oh yeah, research is doing a lot for it, and there's proof from Elon Musk to down that are really getting into that special K category and what it can really do for the body, and all of this is just going to come with more research and more proof, of substantial change.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I'm glad you brought it up, that the plandemic caused is us to stop thinking within the confines of the society that has been built around us, and we kind of like got outside of our minds and stuff and been like, yo, wait a minute. Everybody is just like, this is not how we're supposed to be living our lives.
Right.
That's cool. They created an awakening. That's cool.
Hard
they
reset.
did. That's what they really did. They did it. They tried to avoid it.
Fully rebooted humanity. Turned the button off.
And fuck.
It happened, Jim.
Oh shit. And then the French put shit on the fucking. Did you see the shit on the fucking government place?
Oh, goodness.
Love it. All right, so we'll go ahead and jump into this break real quick, and we'll come back with mental health as wealth.
Habari Entertainment Films present There's Only One Name for News with Damon and Aisha. Habari Live Podcast. Habari Entertainment, a race against time. On a quest for glory. Habari News Weekly, HabariEntertainment.com. Catch us for more. Visit us, HabariEntertainment.com.
And we're back, and mental health is wealth. Let it rain on your brain. And welcome to the spa.
Yeah.
I need to know what frequency that was. That was nice.
Perfect.
That tickled the left side of my brain.
Bro, I got it from your friend, my friend, your tube, my tube. It's something from YouTube.
Nice.
I don't remember exactly what, but I think that was almost a year and a half ago now, I believe.
It's a good hertz.
Yeah. But if I find it again, I'll send it to you. Now, with cannabis, psychedelics, we use these things not just for recreation, like I've said, but for our mental health, or aches and pains. But again, mental health being the name of this segment. I just start rambling.
Me too.
Yeah, we love to talk. That's why there's a podcast. It makes sense. So, what have you learned along the way that you haven't shared so far? Like when I asked Betty, I'll ask you: is there any coping mechanisms that you have that maybe you can share with people? That way, like, because like I myself like to count or do cleaning or something as soon as I get upset or something, because I can control that. I can't control what the hell is going on around me.
I do some audible breaths.
Yeah.
I do everything internally 20,000 times. So at the beginning of the podcast, and you're like, oh, I'm trying to talk too much or reset. I'm like, I'm telling myself 50,000 times since the start, since I walked in here, slow down. Just like a whole lot of mental practice, whole lot of mental practice. Yeah. Everything's just slow down in my mind because I'm going to go out into the real world where it doesn't care what speed it is. It's going at that world speed. So I just go into it slowly, like baby steps,
I feel you.
Yourself down, yeah.
So it's been a lot of mental practices, like my coping mechanism, because I got social anxiety up the yin yang,
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is me being excited. So even if we're stuttering words or anything, it's like, oh, I have anxiety. Anxiety, man, that's being excited.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. When we were talking before, I forgot who it was with. Is like when we finally get around people that you feel comfortable with. That's what it is. That's what it is. That's what it is. You just start going, oh yeah, I wasn't talking to anybody about this because I didn't feel comfortable, but I feel comfortable now. So
yeah, and you're excited. Yeah, definitely. I think excitement is a very underplayed emotion that gets confused with nervous or anxiousness, and just can feel so like stimulating all at once that your heart beats faster. You get a little bit sweaty. It kind of feels like anxiety because of symptoms that go along with it. So it's interesting that you take that mental strength and you channel it and tune it into a positive feeling.
Absolutely. Appreciate that. And that goes back to like the college. My favorite class ever was speech class. And that was just how to deal with people, how to shake hands, how far away to stand from people when talking to them, mental preparation. My dad was a philosophy major, did all this, and he talked to me about everyday life. Yeah. I had lectures every day. And it got to sometimes I'd be like, another one, Dad. But I would never like argue. I was just like, man, you've told me everything. You ain't told me everything. There's more to learn. So it's like a lot of mental preparation from 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then as I got older, I'm like, hey, I do have anxiety like everyone else. How do I channel that now? Yeah. So I got to drop my demeanor, because if I talk louder, then a loud booming dad voice comes out that makes the room nervous and anxious. Oh, yeah. So like even when people walk into my store, and I'll lean up on the shelf. I'm like, welcome in. Come on in. That way I'm controlling the room, because I had all this mental preparation of, I have social anxiety. I have stress of life. I have stress at work. Am I doing my job right? But if I stand forward, now that patient knows that I run this shop, and I let them know that. Yeah. So I'm like turning my anxiety.
That can make them feel comfortable to now, okay, I can trust somebody, and it might calm their anxiety too of even just going in there.
Yeah. So I I'm constantly channeling my anxiety, my energy through different phases. And one of them was speech class. That was my favorite class in college ever. Anthropology, history, everything you can learn medical wise didn't matter. I was like, speech is really cool. Now I know how to talk every day now and conduct myself every day.
It's a psychological play.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is, what I mean? I make people trust me doing that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't want to make people trust me, but it's different visual cues, physical cues, my verbal cues, all these different things play into fact. Yeah. And then I went into a customer service call center. Okay, 90% of it's inflection of voice. Now, how do I talk? How do I sound pleasant now?
I was a debt collector for like 5 years.
I don't know, man. Stepdad did that, and I thought about trying to get a job and doing that. And they're like, you would hate that.
I tried. So just like anything else, it's what you make of it, right?
Right.
And I turned it into so this is how, just real quick, go back to you, but I would hit people up and be like, hey, I have some options to help you out. If you want to work with me, I'll work with you. We'll get it taken care of. If not, I got a file of like 300 people I got to call, so I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Right. I'm not here to like do whatever, and like, because when I first started, they teach you all that kind of stuff. And I can find anybody at any time. And because even if your number, I can find your family's number and then find out through there and everything, wormhole through that. But that stuff, that's not never going to get you paid. You know what I'm saying? That's just that real creepy stuff that people are like immediately go, oh my God. And so I try to turn around like I'm going to help you and stuff like that. And that's how I was good at it, but it's all what you make of it for sure.
Absolutely.
But that's definitely part of that. And I did door-to-door Kirby sales at a point in time, and I did car sales, all psychological plays.
Yep.
And I learned very well at all that kind of stuff. but I don't like that stuff because it's a bunch of manipulation and lying.
It can be.
Yeah. So
two things to touch on that phrasing, like we're talking about training yourself and everything. And people always say lucky. I'm like, there's no such thing as luck. That's opportunity meeting preparation. People tell me I'm lucky to be in the industry. That was an opportunity arose. So someone came to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Someone came to me, asked me if I want a job in medical marijuana. I prepared myself by being in retail, by learning people, by knowing medical.
You're taking control.
So it wasn't lucky. You can call it luck if you want,
Yeah.
Call it something. But that was opportunity and preparation.
Sounds like the sounds of a hater.
Exactly right, dude.
So lucky.
And I'm at the shop the other day, and I loved your response, is what you make of it. Because I'm at the shop the other day, someone's dropping off product. I'm like, how's it going, bro? And he's like, shitty, whatever. And then before I could say what I wanted to say, hey, sometimes you have a shitty day and we need to make it. Sometimes people have shitty days. We have to make theirs. My GM turns around and says, hey, life's what you make it, bro. And walks away. And I was like, hey, that's the blunt truth.
Yep.
That's the blunt truth, or I could have been gentle about it.
It's all it's all perspective, man. Like I'll I as much as I tried to, a lot of people are like, oh, he's not enlightened. I'm like, I'm not really enlightened. I'm trying to heal, but I'll have moments and stuff like that during the week and stuff, and I'm being that asshole or something, or I'm getting upset because I'm tired or hungry or something. And I'm like, change your perspective. Look at all the great things you have going on right now. Gratitude over everything. I feel makes your life. Yeah, you got to be like, holy shit, just shut up. You sound like a brat.
And noticing that mental shift is a big progress. Like that's progression and healing. Like it's just noticing those slip backs, noticing when you're feeling that way, and then reframing. So that's definitely, it's progress.
So when you said you're not enlightened, just healing, I was like, I was going through my head the same thing. Like your recognition was a huge
that's
part
my
of
self-deprecation because I know people are haters out there and stuff like that, and that's me just trying to get ahead of them. But to be honest, but I believe like there, I embrace my duality. If you fuck around and find out, you'll find out.
Right.
But I don't want to do that no more. I really don't. I really want to be the calm, tripping, fun chef.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's so much more fun.
It's a good choice.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and jump into the last segment. We'll have this real quick. This is Plug Talk, all about promo. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to What's in the Box. Watch 7. It's a great family movie.
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely. Not.
Some of the best actors.
You're welcome. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
All right. So Plug Talk is all about promo and me being an idiot, obviously. So self-deprecation.
Finding our surprises.
Right. So we have the surprises here. You want me to go over this, or do you want to plug yourself, or plug what's going on? What are we doing?
I'll make a quick plug real quick. I'm my boy Tony, my floor manager at Soulflower Casas Adobes down in Tucson. He put that cover photo together that you guys used. Absolutely wonderful. I appreciate that graphic design.
That's fire.
This is also some of his merch that he's starting on. Strains Wears. He's going to start making jerseys, Skywalker OG, Hybrid, Indica. It all says it on the back. You'll have strain specifics.
I need a DJ Short Blueberry one.
See, start putting in requests, man. I'm going to try to blow him up, dude, with my connections. Start getting him into shops and stuff like that. So shout out, Tony.
I'll
much appreciated,
no
dude.
discount.
Absolutely.
Much appreciated. He does good work. And he's also a great floor manager, and everyone in Tucson knows him, so he's good people.
Real homies don't ask for discounts.
Like I said, shout out Chiefers. I'm a big supporter.
Chiefers.
Shout out Soulflower. Appreciate you. Shout out Medical Marijuana, just giving me my whole life and giving me support for my family, myself. And
shout out marijuana.
Shout out the plant.
I'm not a botanist or a cultivator or grower, but I love that damn plant.
He's an enjoyer.
I'm an appreciator. I can't draw for shit, but I appreciate art. I appreciate the shit out of it.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and jump into this. Yeah. And make sure you hit him up, follow him at
Man with the Fat on Instagram. Be on the lookout because I'm going to be doing a giveaway this week with Potent Planet coming up this weekend. Giving away some flour. And I got one coming up with Coop/Cow Pig coming up. It's going to be fun times.
Hell yeah, dog. Hell yeah. A lot of great things. Make sure you tap in with him. And so you did bring us this box.
Yeah, surprise! Happy birthday! Merry Christmas!
Happy birthday!
Oh,
did you know I had a birthday this year?
What? Just one?
Yeah,
Just
I
one?
did. Yeah, every
No
year,
other births?
I
Are you
have
sure?
one, but I'm definitely having one this year.
That's what's up.
No,
there's
I'm a
appreciation,
certain
man.
age this year. So with that, he gave us we got 4 different jars of VARs.
Shout out Joey, shout out Davey, shout out VARS team down there. Appreciate you guys.
Shout out, yeah, heck yeah! Because I haven't even got to try this, but we did smoke the white truffle before the show. Fire. And let's see what else. We got the another thing, white truffle,
some
Trop cherry.
Trop cherry is one of my favorites of this year.
Sherb cake again. Or sherb cake, two sherb cakes right here.
Ooh, is that
for the bars?
Cross?
No, it's two.
Oh, yum. Okay.
2 jars. There's 4 jars of VARs, but 2
jars of VARs.
Yeah,
2 jars of VARs, baby.
Yeah, we're just gonna keep running in people's head. Jars of VARs.
Jars of VARs.
Jars of VARs. They're gonna show up to the store. Jars of VARs.
Jars of VARs.
Jars of VARs.
A $50 8 Soulflower, but 2 jars for $80 today. 2 jars of VARs.
Jars of VARs. Marketing.
Exactly.
And then we got the Snoring Roots Sour Diesel. Boom. And stacked on it is the Cannamo live resin. I can't read anything. Sour Diesel. So
yum.
That stacked on that, you roll that and you do that together, and you blow your mind. I used it.
That's what I'm talking about.
Perfect timing.
All right. And then 2 grams of live rosin we have from Copper State. I believe it is high fructose corn syrup and Life Hack. I called it Life Hank earlier because I can't read, but Hank deals in nothing but gas, propane and propane accessories.
Exactly right.
So Hank Hack, it doesn't matter. We're going to smoke it all.
Yep.
So thank you very much for that.
Absolutely.
Definitely jars of VARs. Go ahead and get some of that. Definitely the sour diesel is one of the best sour diesels I've had in a long time.
Yeah, they do it right.
I do love that a lot. So you guys can look at it. That's mine.
Take some devs, take some donuts. Hope it's a good time.
Absolutely.
Heck yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll definitely. I'll definitely roll some stuff up and get some stuff going and tag a bunch of people, and we're gonna give out this stuff to the studio, and it'll Betty. Also, I'm not gonna keep everything because we share the wealth. There will always be more weed.
That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So we want to shout out. I want to shout out Betty. Thank you very much.
Yes.
This is gonna. I think this is a
sort of a beautiful thing.
New era. And go ahead, shout out Pop Buddha. Shout out Boominati. Sin City Seeds. Eventually, I'm gonna grow. I just need to take care of responsibilities before we do the fun things. All right, High Grade. They're coming up soon. Arise, Ian, and them. Pause Consumption. Shout out Pheno Rich, Trippy Terpenes, Only Glands, Papadelic, Dab and Ricky. Oh my goodness.
Get it.
Mexican Nightmare. Life. Shout out Life. Marijuana, Psychedelics.
Absolutely.
Shout out you watching, listening, all that kind of stuff. We will be going live Monday at 5 p.m. to do the live chat. So make sure you go in there. We'll be in there. He will be in there. We will be in there, smoking along, chatting along. Come see us. Thank you very much.
Yes.
For coming out, and it's been dope. We'll have to do it again. Absolutely. And we'll keep close contact because eventually we'll get this going again to where we have events, or we'll start popping up at events and stuff. I think it's more suitable that we pop up at other people's events so we can get bigger. And then eventually throw our own
field trip.
You know what I mean?
And if I start throwing events, I'd love to have you.
Hell yeah, yeah. Thank you very much. Well, we'll make it. I will go.
Here we
I
go.
will go to Tucson for sure.
Road tripping.
Yeah.
Love T-Town.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. HabariEntertainment.com.
Woo-hoo.
If you need any video, podcasting, that and that, HibariEntertainment.com. HibariEntertainment.com. Jars of Vars. Jars of Vars. All right. Thank you very much. Tap in, smoke up, trip out, and we're out of here.
Thanks, y'all.
Appreciate you.